Before we get started today, I want to thank you for checking out this video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also want to encourage you to check out our sponsor, protosusa.com. They have a website with a lot of unique designs on t-shirts, shoes, art, and yoga mats, other things like that. Please check them out. Let me know what you think. We'll go ahead and get started with today's video. It's been a while since I've gone through how I look at stocks when I'm trying to find an entry point and a place to buy. Today I wanted to take a look at Apple for you. This is the weekly chart, which is normally where I start. It's also where I'll usually start drawing my trend lines. And I'm pretty generous about that. I'm not real picky about how I draw them necessarily. I just want to try to get the highs and the lows and kind of see where we might have potential support, going over to the daily chart. So I'm just going to draw a few trend lines here of what I would look at on the weekly chart and where I would see the trend lines, just to get an idea of where support and resistance might be when we go back over to the daily chart, which is what we really want to look at as we're trying to look for an entry here. Unless you're doing some long-term swing trading, then you might want to look at the weekly chart on that. If you were doing some long-term swing trading and you wanted to start here at the weekly chart, I think you've got good support right here at the 220. Just looking at the way it's coming down, into this right here. In case you're wondering what that is, that's a 10 moving average right there. This is a 20 moving average. This is a 30, and that's the 50. Now, ideally, I would like to see it come back to the 20, but you could go ahead and take a try on it here at the 10 if you wanted to from the weekly chart. I probably would not do that because of the daily chart, which I'm going to get over to you in just a second. But you can see where you've got some support coming in, where you were getting into kind of a wedge right here. I'd like to see it move into this area. Of course, if it breaks above this, then that could be a potential buy. Or if it even gets down here and finds some support, I would look at a buy there. But this is how I would normally look at the weekly chart. I'd also draw my Fibonacci lines on the weekly chart. I may take these off when we go over to the daily, just because it gets very crowded on the daily chart. But then give you some idea again where you can expect support at. And as you see, this 61% retracement is right here, running around this 20 EMA right here. So that would be a good point for a buy if you wanted to wait for it to try to come back into that area. Let's go ahead and go over to the daily chart. The daily chart didn't get quite as crowded as I thought it would. You'll notice I used 3 charts. Now, I can trade honestly just with this one chart right here, or even just with a Bollinger Bands with the second deviations, which ones I'd prefer. That's all I really need to trade. I put all of this on here, and I'll show you in some other videos how to set these up. But I put this on here more for beginner traders, so you can just kind of get an idea of what's going on, and you can kind of see what you like or don't like. You have the MACD, you have different level RSIs here. This is a 2, a 5, and a 14. To try to get an idea where you might expect turns. And you can see this 2 has done a decent job. I mean, you got a gap up here, but it still did a decent job at predicting where these turns are. Yesterday I was looking at this chart, and I had this candle right here. And of course, keep in mind the market's down, especially the technology sector is down right now. So there's a lot of downward pressures. You have to be real careful. I got looked at this candle. I decided not to get in. I was going to wait the day out today. I had put an alert right here to let me know if Apple went above this area, because that was something I would look at as a potential buy. Because again, we've got the kind of the wave here of all of these lines coming in. We've got this the midpoint of this Bollinger Band right here, and then we've come down here to the 50 simple. So, this looks like it'd been a really good spot to buy. And I'd put an alert here yesterday, and it went off today, and I started watching. I was really wanting to enter. I decided to wait until the end of the day, try to make a decision. And, of course, what we see is Apple, it really sold off. Truthfully, I believe Apple's in a real good position right here to buy. I'm still looking at it. I'm going to put another alert in, see if it comes back over this level right here into this blue line, which is the 20 EMA. If it comes back over that, I'll probably go ahead toward the end of the day tomorrow. If it looks like it's holding that support, I'll probably go ahead and enter a trade. My stop loss is probably going to be below this candle, just because it came here and then it rejected that and just came straight back up. So there should be a tremendous amount of support right here. So if there's not a lot of support right there, then I might want to get out, and I might want to re-enter down around this area here. But if I get a good solid close tomorrow, I'd probably put this as a stop loss. The MACD's turned down, which is not great. I'd rather see it moving up. We're just bouncing off of this oversold area here in the 2, and even at the 5 it was pretty close. The 14's running mid-range, and that's fine. We're also, you see the MACD, we're losing some momentum here. So those are some negatives that I see. I'd like to see this turn back up a little bit. I would like to see this continue up. I'd like to see this stay below the midline right here. And then if I could get just a little bit of turn up in this MACD, right here, that would be great also. But I am going to be watching it tomorrow. I just wanted to give a quick rundown of what I look at, when I'm doing these types of trades. I almost entered this one today. I did not. I was, after it went in here, and I was going to wait till the end of the day, and as long as it was in the top half of the candle, I was going to go ahead and enter today. But because it finished in the bottom half of the candle, I'm going to wait, primarily because of the way the market is right now. This is what I look at. These are how I look at my trades. These are how I try to decide. And the other thing that I use all of these squiggly lines for, as a lot of traders would call them, the other thing I use them for is when I'm doing searches to find areas to buy. It'll populate that for me. I can go in and look at them. And then I would quickly look at the weekly and the daily and determine if it was in an uptrend, which we are still in an uptrend. We are turning down right here. We've got support here. And you've still got an uptrend here, although this 30 EMA is trying to move below the 50, which is concerning. And then you see how these are all pinching closed right here. That's also a little concerning. Truthfully, I like Apple, and if I can find decent points to get into it, again, I've got support here, I think, and there should be support right here in this gap also. But if it were to break below this, then it could certainly, move down into this area, and especially this trend line, this 61 and this 78 retracements on the weekly could certainly hit those. My gut feeling is if the market stays average, it will turn back around and maybe chop through here. The way I trade, I don't necessarily have to have it go straight up. I just don't need it to go straight down, and that's part of my trading strategy. Is chop is fine, up is great, down is, depending on how far down, is bad, because I would probably be somewhere around this 210 on the trade I was making before I really started losing money if it closed below that. But that's what I look at. Let me know if you have any questions. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.